Good afternoon, world. It's Carm Capriato. Who are these two guys that are hanging with me? If you would have only known was what we've been doing for the last 3 extra minutes here. You see the gray hair that I have? That's how you get it. Anyway, really, I want to introduce Chris and Rob here in a minute. I want to just welcome everybody. I'm going to take off you, Chris. I'm going to put up Rob. Rob, guess what? We are so happy to have you here. Look who's in the house. Rob Merwin's in the house. This is kind of so cool. So thank you for being here. And we're going to introduce him in a second. We want to throw up our agenda for today's aftermarketweekly.com, which is we bring to you live every Tuesday at noon. And I would love anyone to comment that we are, Marianne, great, we are on. When you start a little bit late with the social media, hello, Bill. So good. We've got some things going on here. So great. I know we're getting out. Our agenda today is we're going to talk about team building with Rob. We're going to everyone share their fortune. And you know what? I forgot to get a fortune cookie. I got to go and get one. So I'm going to have to put myself on mute when you're talking, Rob. And I'm going to do a little segment called How I See It. And then we're going to do a shop tour at Golden Rule Auto Care in beautiful Dallas, Texas, with my great friend Chris Clodier. There he is. He's in the background waiting. Thank you so much for being here, Chris. Hey, we are with Rob Merwin, someone I've always wanted to actually just chat with. This will be more of a formal chat, Rob, than anything. But I want to welcome you to the show and put up your logo here. There it is. Aftermarketmatters.com. It is a fabulous newsletter, Rob. I have to give you kudos for that because it is
thank you very much, Carm.
So full of stuff. Rob is the editor and the publisher of the newly launched Aftermarket Matters Weekly. It's a region-based e-newsletter that serves the mechanical and collision shop owners who make the industry tick and those who support them. It delivers insightful shop and business features, inspiring local industry leader profiles, legislative developments, training and education opportunities, and a ton more. Prior to launching Aftermarket Matters, you've probably known Rob. He was the editor of the now closed Parts and People Aftermarket monthly trade publication for at least 10 years. So glad to have you here. I know you have your pulse. Trust me, you have your pulse on the industry, and you really cover some great articles and some wonderful features, and we're so glad to have you here, man.
Well, thank you, Carm. It's great to be here.
Yeah, great. Chris Clodier is with us from Golden Rule Auto Care in Dallas, Texas. There's the building that he's going to show us. Of course, he has 2 locations, and then here's a picture of the team inside getting crazy on him. And if you'd love us to consider taking a tour of your shop anywhere in North America, we'd love to have you. We have slots that are available. And today we're going to do a little trivia question for you. How about this? Let's try this on for size. What 89 concept car from Chrysler appeared in production in 1992 that was almost identical to its original design? I want my 2 guests to think that thing through. All righty. So look at social media. We're up with you. We're on it. And we would love for you to check in with your city. We've seen a couple of people. It's great to see you on. Of course, we get more views and everything post this thing because who has time every Tuesday at noon and then every Friday at noon? I know you love to hang out with me and all the shows that we do. We'd love a like, a comment, and a share, and that would be a wonderful thing to have. Well, Rob, you're here for a specific reason, and that is that we're going to talk about team building. And I have to tell you, you sent me some great stuff, about top talent. I'm just going to let you go with it, man.
Great. Thank you, Carm. This conversation really got started a couple weeks ago. I was speaking with Cheryl Carter. She is a BMW recruiter for technicians. And just more recently, last week, with Brian Bates of Eagle Automotive here in Littleton, Colorado. And what I gleaned from our conversations was there isn't a shortage of top people, top talent to hire in this industry, though it's very easy to hear otherwise from shop owners and operators. There is that top talent tech out there. You just have to find them. they're the unicorns. And what they are seeking is a shop culture that will provide them not only with a job, but with the potential to grow their careers. And it's those shop cultures that have that leadership in place, those processes, systems that are attractive to that top talent. So again, it's not a matter that they're not out there. It's just that you haven't found each other yet.
Yeah. That's a great, that's great. What are we doing as an industry to attract that talent?
Well, I think it comes down to company culture. I think there's the other side of it where there's not enough people getting into the industry, from secondary level, getting into the industry. But that's not what our conversations have been. It's about the good folks that are out there already. And they might be in a job that, they think that they're content in it. But Cheryl Carter told me, more than 70% of general job candidates are passive. They're not looking for another job. But if you ask them if they're sure they're happy, and if they thought about another opportunity, then some will give it strong consideration. Sometimes people just don't know what opportunities are there unless they're made aware of them.
Yeah. Aren't you a proponent for, and you were saying that there's so many silos that we have to jump through, or people, it's like, so where do I go to find a job?
Right. And that was another conversation I had with John Gustafson of Gustafson Collision Repair.
Yeah, I know him. He's a great guy.
Yeah. So he's been working on this initiative to bring the industry together, to have one calling place, if you will, where people in the industry or who are interested in getting into the industry can visit this website and see what opportunities are there. The issue that John related to me was that the industry as a whole, we're all working in these silos, independent efforts where they really just the industry has to come together and have one silo instead of everyone just trying to work independently on their own to solve these issues. It was interesting. I was at an APRA event in Vegas, maybe 7 years ago or so. I was talking to a remanufacturer at a booth there, and we were just talking about the industry. And I asked him, how do you like this association? Do you find it beneficial? And he said yes, but you know what? There's too many. We need to come together. We have various associations going after the same membership, but with similar goals. And so that struck me. And then to hear John say something like that again just recently, kind of hit it home. So I asked John, well, what's the problem here? Why can't we do that? And sometimes it becomes political. Sometimes it's people just want to run their own show, which is understandable. But I think there's something to what John said about maybe there's just too many silos out there.
Thanks for bringing up John's name, Rob, because I did an episode with him. It was episode 358 on ATC, and that's his dream of building this whole hub unit together.
Yes.
And episode 358, if you want to go listen to John. In fact, I think we recently spoke about getting a second podcast done to see where he stands with it, kind of get an update from him. But you're so right about, and I don't want to use the word fiefdom, negatively, but there are so many different silos, like you say, in so many associations. And yeah, you're right, it's political, but I look at the regionality of so many of these great associations that we have, and they really, really help their members well. But I think one of the keys, Rob, is there's not enough players. And I mean the participation from the pure service professional. Somebody will worry about that. I don't need a better insurance. I don't need training. And I know everyone's out there recruiting, but when you talk to the great successful shop owners of today, they count in the top 5 networking and association membership is one of the reasons for their great success, which is why I'm a big fan of associations. But yeah, it goes to the point, and I know you are too. How do we get that talent shared, developed? And you're almost leading into what I want to talk about. In fact, why don't you and I do it together? But I want to move into, actually, let me tease the audience with a couple of other things, and then you and I talk about apprenticing. How about that?
Sure, you bet.
Okay, cool. So an episode that came out today, by the way, Rob, thank you for that. It really energized me for that. An episode that came out today from Dr. Dave Wyman, Stress Busters, How to Deal with Emotional Roller Coaster. I got to tell you something. You owe this to yourself to listen to this. Dr. Dave and we just connected in an extremely great way. And there's nothing more I can say. If you want to learn a little bit about how you can help yourself and your people in this stress roller coaster of the new norm and COVID-19, check it out. By the way, we also did last Friday, we released an episode with Matt Fonslow, Scott Schott, and it's their part 2 of diagnostic processes about silver bullets versus diag pathways. Anytime Matt and Scott get together, it's good stuff. So look at Rob, hang in there. By the way, tomorrow I'm doing a live webcast on Virtual Apex, the behind the scenes at Virtual Apex. We've got about 5 or 6 of the trainers that are going to be there, that are going to be on my Carmcast tomorrow at noon. So please, if you're not hanging out or doing anything tomorrow at your East Coast lunchtime or your second cup of coffee out in the great Pacific Coast, join us for this. I think you're going to love it. Rob, let's go together in this PowerPoint that I want to show about apprenticing. And I did an episode last Friday, the Town Hall Academy, and it releases Thursday as a podcast. And it was apprentice stories. Rick, go ahead and put up that first slide. And I am so hot on apprenticing, everyone. I have been doing more shows on apprenticing than I have on anything, even almost like more than COVID. And I am convinced, totally convinced, no one can move me out of this staunch position that I'm in, that every single shop needs to have an apprentice program. And if you listen to these 3 apprentice, a mentor and 2 apprentices, it was called Apprentice Stories, talk in depth on their experience, the fact that they have no debt, that it was the greatest thing that they ever did. The shop owners that are building their own bench, why would someone say no to apprenticing? Especially if you have to go and get in line at a post-secondary school. Hey, I'm not against post-secondary school. I'm on advisory board of our local. I mean, I love the whole education thing, but there's 300 young men going through that, and 300 or 275 go to the dealerships. So what are we going to do as independents to pull the young people in? And we're going to do the same thing that a 2-year school would do, but we're going to do it inside of our place under the guise of the Department of Labor, and we're going to have a student come out with probably mostly debt-free and all kinds of mentoring, real life, real world stuff, and get paid to boot and reach ASE master status when they're in their 20s. And look there's my friend Dwayne Myers, networking and apprenticeship, 2 of my favorite topics. No kidding. Well, Dwayne, I want to pay homage to you in a minute. Rick, give me the next slide. So just to show you the commitment that I've had to apprenticing, again, the Apprentice Stories releases Thursday, and we did it live. You can still watch it on my websites and on YouTube. Apprentice Grow Your Own Text from McNeil's came out in episode 185, and that was the impotence of the NAPA program, the NAPA apprentice program. We also did automotive careers starting high school, college apprentices, where we just talked to 3 young. And I think we did that back at ASTE in Raleigh, North Carolina. We recorded that live. Kyle Holt was here. Build Your Own Apprentice Program with Dwayne Myers. There's my friend Dwayne Myers, right? It was episode 335 where Dwayne came on, and he brought his whole Maryland apprentice program to light. And of course, the whole thing started back, I think it was in 2015 or 16, when Mike Davidson created Industry Essentials with the Department of Labor approved apprentice program. And it is a great program. Finally, one more slide, and it's Mike Davidson came on and did a For the Record on where to find apprentices for your shop. Dwayne Myers, say no to the technician shortage. Thank you, Dwayne, for your constant contributions. And then we did a Carmcast on the Independent Garage Owners of North Carolina's apprentice program that they have for the state of North Carolina. And then at Apex in 2018, I moderated a panel called The Road to Great Technicians, and an all-star panel. So the commitment that we've had as a medium, and Rob, I know you write about this all the time, and I have been talking a lot of late about apprenticing, and I have to say, if we're going through COVID and the new normal is here, and we have time to think about this stuff, and we're starting to think, what's 2021 going to look like and feel like? It's going to be different. I don't think we should carry our same old BS excuses forward. I don't know, maybe right or wrong on that, but Rick, go back to that slide, that last slide, if you could. And all I want to do is to remind everyone that 193 comes out Thursday, and 185. These are 2 must-listen episodes. So, Rob, was I too forceful up on my soapbox, or what? What do you think?
But I would be interested to hear what those BS excuses are, if they're similar to what I'm thinking.
Yeah, well, I think one of them is, woe is me, I can't find any technicians. Woe is me, I can't hire anybody. Woe is me. What do you mean I have to have a good culture to do that? And it goes back to that pure, how do you hire superstars? And I've got a couple of episodes that I want to pull off here in the next couple of weeks on hiring superstar employees. In fact, with Jerry, who's on with me this morning. So anyway, my soapbox is off. Apprenticing is critical. Apprenticing is really, really important. And I would love to know from each of you, when you get ready to start your own apprentice program, tell me about it, because with a couple 100,000 shops, Rob, that exist in our mechanical aftermarket, there's a lot of room for improvement, and a lot of room for zero excuses.
Right. And the best shops, as you know, Carm, are the ones that do have their own apprenticeship programs, whether it's a master tech and they bring someone on board, whether or not they come from post-secondary or not, and get them into a months-long training program where they're shadowed. Yeah. Challenges with that, though, are, well, you're taking time away from that master tech performing. So there's got to be some kind of compensation plan on top of how they're making their living. I think that's a big hurdle. So that's got to be something that's set. I think in general, we have to rethink about how we hire people. I think it's considered a chore. And, you know, quite frankly, there are some people who think they belong in the industry, but, you know, maybe they should try something else.
Yeah, it's so funny. We've done shows on that, Rob. Okay, so get out, go to work for somebody, and you'll make more money and have less stress.
Right. And, you know, from a shop owner perspective, I think during the hiring process, it can't be just, well, what job do I need to fill? Where do I advertise for it? And how much do I pay? The mentality can't be, I just need to hire people and make it work. And again, we're going to circle back to company culture. Some of the top shops, they have a 3-stage hiring process. They meet with one owner, and they are either vetted for the next step with the next owner, or they don't make it. And then the final step is meeting with the team and getting to know the team getting to know them. And what that does is it illuminates, hopefully, what that shop culture is. And is it a good fit? As I said earlier, many people just don't want a job, a job. They want something where they can grow their careers. They want management that can help them in their professional and personal growth. I think that's all part of it. I think you just have to let people know who you are and the direction you're taking your company, and are you going to come along for the ride?
So well said. Thank you for that. Hey, it's time to do a fortune. I have this really cool feature here, Rob, where we actually just open up a fortune cookie and find out if it's our lucky day. Now, I absolutely will not give you the lotto numbers for today, because if you win, I know you won't share it with me. But how about this? A cheerful letter or message is on its way to you. Now, I opened this from scratch. I just want you all to know, okay? And in today's episode with Dr. Dave Wyman, he talks about gratitude and sending messages as a stress reliever and for caring for people. I have to say, this is really, really scary that I opened this up when we announced Dave's great lesson inside of that episode. Wow, that's just scary. Hey, so this Friday, Town Hall Academy, we are. I wanted to talk about. Rick, I want to go back to the 1980s, please. Thank you. This Friday, the 80s, we did a 1970s talking auto repair. And now this Friday, we are going to talk the 80s. And these 4 guys, John Bridgewater, Kevin Eckler, Rich Falco, Paul Marquardt, they were starting to wrench in the 80s. And so they're going to be with us. And I've already seen some of their talking points. And think about the music groups from them. Think about the technology that we got. It'll be a hoot. We love to do this stuff every once in a while. And Improving Workflow is another great episode that just came out. It's so well worth your listen. Episode Town Hall Academy 192. Okay. And the classic episode was episode 500. It got one of the biggest listens that ever in the history of the podcast, as we were talking about what worked, what didn't work. Success has its hang-ups, ups and downs, and it actually was episode 500, and we are on the brink of episode 600 within a certain amount of weeks, and we'll be doing that. Don't forget, you can watch all the archived episodes of this show on the website, so thank you for that. Let's get out to see my friend Chris Cloutier. Hello, Chris. Let me put you up here on the big screen and welcome you to our shop tour, and we just can't wait to see what you got there, man.
Hey, Carm, how are you, man? Good. Can you hear me fine? Okay,
we can hear you, man. A little delay, a little video delay, but we'll live with it, babe.
Okay, we'll live with it. Okay, I just wanted to start out in my office because I know the lifestyles of the rich and famous. I think everybody just needs to understand like where some of us come from. So here's my office at the Rowlett office. You might think it's a broom closet, but lo and behold, I'm going to show you something.
It probably is a broom closet.
Carm, it is a broom closet. Yeah. So we're talking about culture. How is that for culture?
I know.
A guy who's willing to live in a broom closet and do his work. I would like to say my guys have a better little setup than I do. All right, so we're leaving the broom closet. Now we're working up front here. I got to put on my mask, Carm, so if it muffles my sound a little bit, I apologize. So this is the showroom, the Golden Rule. You see the TV in the corner?
That's okay, man.
you'll see here. So here's another TV, shows our reviews while our customers sit here, and so they can see the different reviews as they sit, and shows our website, things like that. Here's our guys at the counter. You'll notice dual monitors. This is Colin right here on the phone. This is James. This is a random customer.
Well, those are CinemaScope. Those are wide screens.
Yeah, we like big, wide screens. So we use the dual monitor. Nice big setup. You can see their workflow on the left, shop management system on the right. It's pretty much every setup. Once again, random customer doesn't care because he's got a mask on, so he's kind of hidden. Perfect. Excellent. You'll see here. Here's the wall of Almost Famous, Carm. Look, this is me and The Rock. Yeah. Yeah. This is my brother playing bass in a band. This is a picture of me playing guitar, playing a rock band. So yeah, this is our Almost Famous wall, is what we call it, because we were never really famous.
Your brother has hair and you don't.
No, that's a wig. That's a wig.
Oh.
That's Tommy Lee right there. That's me with Tommy Lee. Yeah, so we got to know a lot of really cool people. We're talking about certifications and stuff. So, here's certs, here's the CPP, here's all the things that we've won over time. This is good. Here, lots of pictures of the wall. We like pictures of our family instead of the one picture of the very small room, socially distant, socially responsible. We'll go outside here for a minute and just kind of get a look.
Chris, you're big into quality control, right?
Big into quality control. Absolutely. I just want to point out, Carm, I'm also big into continuous improvement. Who else would say, hey, come do a visit of my shop when we're repainting it? But this just shows you, hey, we're always improving, right?
Yeah.
And because those doors needed some painting, that's Jesus, great painter. If you're in the area, you should use them, but I'm assuming that most people probably aren't. So here's that beautiful view of our shop. Yes, I'm into quality here, and here's some of our decorations already for the upcoming holidays. Yeah, Carm, I am big in quality control. Yes, do you have a question on that?
No, I don't, but I do know that about you, Chris. And if there is any place that you would say, hey, let me show you how we do that. Ah, look at that. See? Okay.
There you go. So we're paperless, but everybody says, well, you're paperless and you have paper. Well, yeah, we do. We have bags and we have keys, and typically they'll print up one piece of paper with the ticket, and that's really the reason why vehicles here, and it's just a bad habit that we've never got out of. But yeah, that's our quality control rack that says, hey, anything that goes there needs to be quality control. We're going outside, it's going to be noisy, of course. Here's another station out here, right? Even bigger monitors.
Yeah.
Again, workflow, shop management. So, and here's a monitor up here. Here's our guys' productivity. You can't really see it, but it flips between productivity and workflow in the shop, so the guys know how productive and efficient they are, because we give a half day off if they're most productive for the month. So something we measure and want them to monitor. And then, of course, there's a couple more walls of achievement, some of the certifications that they've got. As you guys said, culture is everything. That's why I sent a picture of my guy smiling, Carm. Because of course, it's forced fun, but I want to make sure that they. And here's the bathroom. Everybody's got to have a nice bathroom. Custom artwork. As a matter of fact, that's one of my guy's wife who is an artist. So she did us custom paintings. Baby changer, nice and clean. Got to have a clean bathroom, right? Yep. Got to have a nice looking, clean bathroom. Here's one of our guys, Micah. He's kind of a grumpy guy, so we're going to move on from him because he's not really nice. There's Cliff, our shop manager. Notice he's wearing a mask. And then there's not a lot of sexiness in here, Carm. It's a shop. So we'll see here, Edgar's on a tablet. This is perfect. This was not staged. If you've watched other Auto Text Me videos before, Edgar's usually one of our focal points because he's really good. He's good on the camera. Let's see, taking pictures. Very big on inspections. We're very big on digital inspections, right? Making sure that car is written up properly. Good job, Edgar. Cisco, one more. Look, listen. You'll hear. What is that you hear?
Wait a minute. Is it Christmas already?
No, but it's Cisco. He loves Christmas music. So why not start now, Carm? Why wait till later?
All the stores have it out.
So we have our oil change. You got, close to where the work needs done. So most of the oil changes are done around here. So there's not many steps to get to what we need to get to, right? There's our oil change. I watched a couple of years. Everybody, these are super popular, right? These are very nice to have, these containers here.
Yeah.
And then, of course, here's our alignment. This is one of our guys, Justin, cleaning up. And here's our Hunter alignment machine, which is super nice and super expensive. Yeah,
Super
that's
nice,
it, Carm.
super expensive.
Yeah, we get a little bit of space out front here that we can look at, and then we got a field in the back. I'll show you all that, but that's it. I mean, you know what, Carm? It looks like an auto repair shop.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's clean. It's organized. Everybody's got their station. Chris?
Yeah, that is the basketball goal. And then that's our parking lot back there. Yeah.
Excellent.
So yeah, super clean. Like I say, very digital. We want to make sure, obviously, that everything is done as best we can digitally, and make sure the workflow runs smooth. Like I said, we got folders and stuff and papers that come. Here's Kate. She's one of my assistants. She's super awesome. Look, she's got a whole bunch of certifications in her hand but yeah, we just want to make sure things run smooth, right?
Well,
and that's all about the workflow and what happens.
Chris,
Go ahead, Chuck.
Are you back up to pre-pandemic levels?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are you back up to pre-pandemic levels? Amount of work.
Chris, is your sales volume up to pre-pandemic levels?
We've actually had a couple months that were better than pre-pandemic levels. That's the interesting thing. We kind of got hit, and then things have gone up. So let me switch it back here, Carm, to my face.
Yeah,
it's a little bit prettier than the shop, but here we go. We're back again. Yeah, so we've been very lucky and blessed that we've gone back to even better than pre-pandemic levels. Also, the interesting thing is we didn't really see the school slow down like we typically see. So most of the time when people go back to school, we see a fairly significant dip that you can tell, but we didn't see it because we think that most people are working from home, and you still got half your population who's home for school. So
got
interesting.
it. Chris, thank you so much. Now, every time I've done an interview with you, or you've ever been on my show live, and I always saw that little mini broom closet, I thought on purpose you wanted to, do that, but it's real. Now, if ever someday you get yourself a nice office, could we actually get a tour of it?
I do have, over at Wiley, we built a conference room over there for management. So it's nice. So the problem is the guys over here are like, well, you don't want to spend time over here anymore.
Oh.
After 10 years in a broom closet, you can understand, right? I think I've suffered enough.
I understand. You're a great, real deal guy. And Chris and I have a podcast coming out, I think within maybe 3 weeks or less, Chris, on the cyber security. Oh,
it's going to be a good one.
Trust me.
It's a topic everybody wants to hear about, Carm.
Yeah. Everybody's going to say, why do I want to listen to that? But when you hear Chris and our other guest come on, it's going to be great. So, hey, man, thank you. Stay here. Stay with us while we kind of get near the end here. Let's next week, Community Auto, Dick Zagman out in Grand Rapids. Okay, Dick Zagman's going to be here, and my guest host next week is going to be AJ Neely from Neely's. And about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, AJ was on and showed us his shop out in Maryland. He's going to be my guest host next week. Well, look at let's bring that trivia graphic up. And we actually had Jerry Kazaya guess it. I mean, but Jerry's a car guy, so he would know. In '89, the concept car from Chrysler appeared in '92, almost identical to its original design, and it is the Viper, the RT10. And if you saw the concept car and the final car, it's amazing how that thing happened. And I have some information. The production Viper RT10 was displayed at that year's Detroit Auto Show with styling that remained in line with the previous concept. 400 horse, 365 pounds of foot-pounds, 8-liter V10 engine co-developed by Chrysler, owned Lamborghini, a 6-speed manual transmission, and virtually no creature comforts. The Viper lacked glass side windows, air conditioning, stability control, ABS, a roof, exterior door. The Viper was the new bad boy sport car. So anyway, that was a lot of fun. Well, look, thank you so much to Rob Merwin from aftermarketmatters.com. So good to hear you. Thanks for the great discussion on culture and hiring and apprenticing. So appreciate that. And
Carm, it was great to be on. Thanks for having me.
it was so much fun, Rob. Thank you. And Chris, always good to talk to you from the broom closet.
Man, I appreciate it. Hey, and Rob, very good stuff. Loved everything you had to say.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
Awesome.
I loved your tour too.
Yeah, good tour. Good tour. All right, everybody. Thanks. Loves to you all.
Thanks, Carp.
Thanks all.